Hey, friends. I'm Thea Charles, and you are listening to the Push or Pivot podcast. In this series, we discuss the path someone chooses when they are at a crossroads of their life. Do they push through the adversity, or do they stop, reassess, and pivot? Today, we are talking to Kelly Curtis, a certified life coach, who is also the production director and training coordinator for Inner Glow Circle. Hey, Kelly.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing great.
I am so excited to do this talk with you, since I love these stories in general, and I just love learning more about you. So I was thinking, maybe you could tell us a little background about yourself so we can get to know you.
Great. So I'm Kelly Curtis. I am currently the production director and training coordinator for Inner Glow Circle, which is an accredited life coach training company. And my background is actually in mental health. I went through my master's in mental health counseling, thinking that I wanted to be a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of that program, realized I actually don't want to be a therapist. So didn't actually pursue my license. And eventually when I discovered coaching, or I like to say like coaching discovered me, I realized that whole time I was picturing myself being a therapist. I was actually picturing myself being a coach. And I just didn't realize that they both existed in different capacities. So I found my passion later in life. Suddenly, like, all of my pieces of my experience made sense where they didn't make sense before, and everything fit together. And I've been doing coaching in some capacity since 2015.
Wow, that's awesome. How did coaching discover you?
Well, I was getting really burnout at my 9-to-5 job. It was taking a toll on my health and just my well-being in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of those people who took a scary leap and just quit my job with no plan B. I had no idea what I was going to do. It was one of those scenarios where I told myself, like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know it's not going to be this. And so I just quit my job out of left field. And it was really terrifying because I had just bought a house like 6 months earlier. I had no idea how I was going to make money for my mortgage. I had no idea. I had like a little bit of savings to pad me for a moment, but I knew that wasn't going to last very long without a job.
Yeah.
And so I actually started painting because I'm like, what am I going to do with my days? Well, I'll paint. Why not? So I started painting, which really just opened up a new energy for myself. Like, it just kind of helped me ground in, get creative, get those juices flowing. And one day I went to lunch with a former employee of mine, and she looked at me and said, "You need to be a life coach." And it was like, suddenly everything made sense. And I remember looking at her going, oh my God, you're right. I need to be a life coach. And so that day I went home, I signed up for a coach training program, which happened to be Inner Glow Circle. And sort of the rest is history. I've been with Inner Glow Circle ever since, because it's just made such a huge impact on my life. So literally it was just someone looking at me saying, like, you need to do this. And it was like a rush of just clarity, like, yes, this is what I need to do.
Wow. Oh, that's so neat. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Were you a painter before?
Yes, I've been a lifelong artist.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow. How did it feel to just like up and quit like that?
Terrifying, frankly.
I bet.
Scariest decision I've ever made. But it was like one of those things in my gut. I knew like I had to make that choice. Like, my health was taking a toll. I also have a chronic illness. So that's part of it. Like being on my feet in a high volume retail environment was taking a toll on me. I was actually getting like debilitating vertigo,
Wow.
spinning out of nowhere. The
Yeah.
worst bout I had lasted 28 days.
Oh my gosh.
And no doctor could tell me why or how to fix it or what was wrong. And all the remedies they gave me never worked. And that's actually when I hired an intuitive life coach.
Okay.
And she, in our first session, said, you're getting backed up energetically. You're taking on all this energy and you're not finding a way to release it. And it's literally making your head spin. So and that was like another wake up call moment where I started really paying attention to, on an energetic level, how I was managing my own energy. Changed my life, which was another, just when I was told later, like, you need to be a life coach, I was suddenly like, oh, because I had such a groundbreaking experience with a life coach.
Okay.
That it just was like, duh. It was like one of those duh moments. Duh. And knock on wood, I haven't had vertigo since.
Oh, that's awesome. Were you in tune with your intuition before then?
Totally. So another aspect to my history is I am an intuitive. Some people might call me psychic. I resonate more with the word intuitive.
Okay.
Since birth. Kind of a wacky story. I was stillborn. They had to resuscitate me at birth.
Wow.
And my theory is it left a door open for me. I was actually like a little girl who saw dead people, like Sixth Sense, like I see dead
the
people.
Movie.
Yeah. that was me. I was a creepy little kid who saw dead people. I even remember when I was a young girl, the first time I realized other people didn't see dead people.
Wow, what was that?
Like it was like this weird eye-opening experience. My mom was telling like a family friend one of my like ghost stories.
Yeah.
Seeing the response of this family friend, it was like, oh snap, other people don't have this experience.
Whoa.
So it was interesting, and thank God I had both parents who were very supportive of me. They didn't care. They thought it was real cool, frankly.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't make me suppress it or anything like that. But as I got older, life happens. I focused in on school and going to college and all this stuff, and I kind of just didn't do anything with it. And that's actually when I was getting the vertigo and like realizing like I needed to channel this energy. That was a large part of it. It was me suppressing all of my intuition, just not actively doing anything with it, was literally backing me up and making my head spin. I was taking on all of this stuff and not doing anything with it. And so I actually, after that first session with my intuitive life coach, I started reading cards again. As a little girl, I used to read cards.
Okay.
And so I went home and I still had my deck on the shelf from my deck from a little girl. And I finally like pulled it off the shelf and started working with it again. And it gave me the ability to like channel that energy back out. And also the painting piece really helped with that too. It helped me just like get the energy flowing in a way that it wasn't bottled up inside of me.
Oh, that's awesome. What a great way of like finding an outlet in that way, like through the painting and then through the coaching. It's really awesome.
I'd like to think so.
No, it totally is. That's like such a cool story. I don't know what else, Kelly.
I don't know what else.
What else? I'm like on the edge, like I don't even have questions. I'm just sitting here like, wow. So I guess, all right, what's some advice that you would give somebody when they're feeling how you felt?
Like in their 9 to 5, like not. Yeah, I mean, it's really about doing the scary thing. Like I believe that everyone is intuitive, right? It's
Mhm.
just about how you're tuned in,
Right.
basically, and how you choose to listen to how you're tuned in.
Mhm.
So if your gut is really telling you like something is amiss, like something's just not for you or not aligned with you, listen. And that sometimes means taking a scary leap. Like, I'm not saying go quit your job like right now, no plan B perhaps, but maybe that is something you need to do. I like to think for myself, like, if I would have tiptoed and like tried to find something else while I was still in my 9 to 5 and like went that route, I don't know that I would have had such an awakening, frankly.
Mhm.
I sort of surrendered to the experience of what my gut was telling me, and that gave me the space to find what was actually meant for me. And I don't think I would have been able to do that had I stayed in my job and tried to like make that work or like
Like
find
you
something
put
else at the
in.
same time.
Yeah.
So sometimes doing what's best for you requires taking that leap of like faith in yourself,
Yeah.
frankly. Like you can have faith in other things, that's great, but a lot of it comes down to just the faith in yourself and trusting that like what your gut is telling you is either for you or not for you, is the truth, like is actually the case. And if you want to think about like God or the universe or whatever like wording you want to put to that, sometimes you have to take the first step. Like I
Mhm.
had to show the universe that I meant business by quitting my job. Like
Mhm.
by like showing the energies around me, this is not for me. Give me something better.
Yeah.
And it delivered, like, and delivery, right? Like it came my way in a way I wasn't expecting. So take the leap, do the scary thing, trust that everything your gut is telling you is true, and everything else falls into place. It's just the case, it's just how it works.
Yeah. That's great advice for every part of life,
Mm-hmm.
for everything. Yeah. Totally relate to that. Even like when I left my own job and how it felt like I was terrified. I was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And it was once I finally made that leap, like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's hard to make big changes for yourself with 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Yes.
It's tough,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes tougher than doing the scary thing.
Yes. Yeah. If you're like holding on to this fake safety net, like in between like two valleys, like how do you make your way?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is just so awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of
Mm.
course.
Um, yeah. So if anyone wanted to talk to you further, how could they contact you?
You can, Inner Glow Circle is a great way to contact me. Email is great, Kelly, Kelly, at innerglowcircle.com. Um, I run all of our training programs now in Inner Glow Circle. Like I loved the training program so much. Now I'm in charge of it.
And
So,
there's Fab. I did it.
you know, what's up there. So, if this is resonating with you, anybody listening, like, gosh, this sounds like this could be the right fit for me. Wink, wink, people. Like, let
Mhm.
me know. We actually have our next round of coach training coming up in April. It starts in April. So this next month, we're enrolling into our new coach training class. And there's a ton of things you can do with coach training. You don't necessarily have to be a coach per se, like working one-on-one with people. Of course you can, but we've had students come through that do all sorts of things: public speaking, authors. We've had students who have their own fashion lines, and so they're doing coach training to really learn how to relate to their clients, market themselves, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a wide variety of things you can do with a coach training certificate. And for any of it is a woman oriented training. So
Mhm.
it's for females only, but coach training is actually statistically the easiest avenue towards entrepreneurship for females. So keep that in mind. It's a big door opener. It gives you some credibility in whatever work you want to do. It gave me a ton of credibility as an intuitive as well, because I had certification and training to back up what I was doing when I first started my career as an intuitive life coach. Not only did I read cards, I actually like worked with people on a
Right.
deeper level. It wasn't just here's some information, hope you win. I
Right.
actually was able to talk to the people I was working with and figure out, okay, how does this matter to you? What do we do with this information? So intuitives out there can give you a lot of credibility, open up a new whole level of working with people, people in corporate, people in consulting businesses. We have a lot of consultants that go through coach training to, again, like just deepen their ability to really support their clientele. Makeup artists, real estate agents, like I could go on and on about who coach training can really benefit. So that's the best way to get a hold of me. If this is really resonating with you, email me, kelly@innerglowcircle.com. I can share a bunch of information with you, or you can check out our website at innerglowcircle.com and see what information lives there.
There's so much good stuff. And it's also really great, even on your personal relationships, just having another way of being able to communicate with people and be clear and direct and listen.
Totally. You will never talk to people the same way again after going through coach training. You will never hear people the same way again. That's actually one of the biggest like surprises we hear from students going through coach training is they're like, yeah, I knew I would learn how to like be a coach, but what I didn't realize is how much I would transform through the experience on a personal level.
Yep.
So it is a transformative experience, and it just ups your whole life, frankly. Life coaching, like
It's a total up level.
life is up leveling in all the ways. 100%.
Everything. Yes. And I've learned so much from you, Kelly. It's fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for this conversation.
Of course.
And I look forward to talking to you again soon.
You know we will.
I know. What did you take away from Kelly's story? Is there something in your life that you've been tiptoeing around? When are you going to take your leap of faith? Do you have a story to tell about a crossroad in your life? I'd love to hear it. Contact me on Instagram at @PushOrPivot. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and join me next time on the Push or Pivot podcast.